into this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. Xavier Howard up to make the tackle. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Again, it's Fournette. Ooh, with a juke. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. They'll try and run forward with Fournette. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. 4th down, so Jake Camarda is out there. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. So Miami coming out for their 2nd drive. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road, so getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. That'd be ideal.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now a pass that's taken in by Hill. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be 2nd down. From the gun, a run with Mostert. Room here to run. There he goes, left side. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Sanders now to add the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. This one taken just inside the 10. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their 2nd drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Throwing now is Brady. That's complete. It's Chris Godwin. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Brady finding Godwin there for a Buccaneer first.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Fournette, a first down carry. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
They suspected that there was a power play up the middle coming in, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
The throw on 2nd down by Brady is incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now in Tampa Bay. It's the Buccaneers in control of the football. Here's Jake Camarda now. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they could already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Either almost push them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point. Loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. On 3rd down, they run with Edmonds. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The Miami 1st down, that one going for a gain of 11.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And in the next breath, they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. So for Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 27. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Raheem Mostert on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Dolphins take a 3-touchdown lead. Well, fans of old-school football, they got to be loving this, partner. All 3 drives so far have ended in a touchdown, and all 3 on the ground.
And when you say fans of old-school football, count me in, because you just don't see ground games dominate the scoring, but pounding the rock like this anymore. To me, this is refreshing.
So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head, because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Pulls it in at the 13. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, about that.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now a throw here, hauled in. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
Trask. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll run on first down, Edmonds. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Coming in to put a lick on him was Levante David. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gut.
Touchdown, Dolphins. Tyreek Hill from 19 yards away. And the Dolphins are able to add on to their first half lead.
Here we go. Dolphins are lining up for a 2-point conversion.
Tua going to try and throw for it. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I have to admit, I love the excitement of the 2-point try. You know, to see what's going to happen, and it happens pretty quickly, doesn't it? You get an answer, and in this case, it was unsuccessful for the guys trying it.
Completely unrelated. I just realized that I stole both of your pins in this last game. My bad, partner.
Hey, that's okay. Well, and just in the time they went for 2.
Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go. Trash throw into the hands of Darden. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big 3rd down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
Again, it's Trask. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Big Raekwon Davis, the man fighting in for that sack.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Now Hill to return it. A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And it'll be Dolphin football.
Let's go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. Jannard Avery coming in from that outside linebacker spot. He gets him down. It's a loss of 5. Tua, a final shot before half. This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. Well, we all miss football in the offseason, but apparently not everybody missed halftime. We skip right over it. We get back to the action. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Probably not likely to see many starters in the second half as we get back at it underway in this preseason opener. And he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. The CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Keon Crossan. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six and a Dolphins touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this third quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick six is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
It's a run with Mostert. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. That pick six just a moment ago. Things went from bad to worse. Look up at the scoreboard now. Not looking good here. We'll see if they can put something together on this drive. 1st and 10. They start the drive with White. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow it.
And it's intercepted. Picked off by Noah Igbenogany.
Holding. Defense.
Wait a second, they declined the penalty?
I'm as puzzled as you are, partner. I don't understand how anytime you lose possession of the ball, yet you turn down a penalty that would give you possession.
That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami. A 9-yard touchdown there. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. A familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this third quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
The Buccaneers offense ready to rock and roll again. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer. Well, you hate to see this before the regular season even begins. We'll take a break and come back. More preseason action in a moment. A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Watch out for Hill on the return. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and they will take over 1st and 10. Miami's offense set and ready to go. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple.
And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Chase Edmonds, 59 yards. And the Dolphins get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
Well, I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They had done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
And he will dive into the end zone, and the two-point conversion is successful. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. So out come the Bucs now. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're running a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
Now here's a throw that's complete. Just a gain of a couple there. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Here's Trask. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. And this returnable for Hill. A little juke. And nice work on the return as he gets about 15 yards back. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. He'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. 166 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. On 1st down, they go with Mostert again. And he'll get this down only to the 18. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Tua going to throw. Touchdown! Tyreek Hill, ready for the regular season with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Dolphins will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
They'll try and throw for it. Out to his left. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a two-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know what I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense, right?
That's true. You've said that before. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Well, the disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single point, and on the other side, the points keep piling up and up and up.
So you know the frustration level has to be rising, right? So they've got to find a way to quell that, because otherwise they certainly won't get anything done in this one. Keep diving deeper into the offensive playbook, but bottom line is don't quit competing.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Trask now off the play fake. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Noah Igbenogany. And the Dolphins are going to get the football back as time will run out in this third quarter of play. So it'll be a change of possession on the turnover when we get back. Back now in Tampa. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll stay on the ground with Mostert. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down. They'll run right side with Mostert. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. He's going to go up top for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And the Buccaneers defense holds and they get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
And here's a good way to kick off a drive, complete over the middle. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. From the gun, Trask. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Keon Crossan. And the Dolphins are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. And he's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Alec Ingold from 19 yards away. And the Dolphins add another 6 points to what's going to be a blowout victory. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
And he will dive into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is successful.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Trask. He's got White here. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 15 yards as Tampa Bay picks up the first. Trask to throw it. Into the hands of Darden. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 38. Now Trask. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. On 1st and 10, Trask. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. And going back to the air with Trask. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Eric Rowe. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis.
He's got a man complete. He's at the 40, the 20. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Oh, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
It's a run with Mostert, and he will dive into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is successful. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Taken at the 15, a short kick. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And certainly this, not the performance that they were hoping for to begin the exhibition season, but still plenty to watch for in this 4th quarter. 1st down, Trask. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Trask on first down. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Jalen Phillips, the former first-rounder, getting in there for the sack.
Let's go ahead and put check marks by it all, partner. No points, down by 4 touchdowns, haven't had anything going today on offense. Why not add a late sack to the mix? Obviously a day to forget for all involved. Let's give plenty of credit to this defensive effort. They've been excellent from start to finish.
Give them 5 on the screenplay, and that'll set up a 3rd down. A tall task ahead of them here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Here's Hill on the return. For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers, meanwhile you've